for both teams. First for the Heat, Chalmers and D-Wade are the guards. And playing at the 5, the always versatile 6'11" star big man, able to score inside and out, Chris Bosh. And it's LeBron James, and it's Haslem in at the 4. And looking at the Pacers, George Hill at the 1, Paul George at the 2, and starting 7'2", one of the true giants in the game, another great big man out of Georgetown, Roy Hibbert. Then there's Danny Granger, and it's West in at the 4-man position.
The Heat have magnificent talent, but even coming off an NBA title, they had never put their name into the conversation of the great team until last spring when they went on that amazing 27-game winning streak.
Gotta love the use of the bounce pass there. Perfect feed.
And for the Heat, they were staring right at the 72 Lakers win record, and I'm sure everyone remembers, but ultimately they would fall, Steve, to the Bulls after 27 consecutive wins.
Yeah, that streak to me was one of the great feats in NBA history. Winning 27 games in a row in the regular season, so difficult, but it showed you what the Heat were made of. They really were battling every night, and I thought that put them on a great run heading into the playoffs.
And shot on the way. Granger misses.
Well, I think he kind of alligator armed that one. Short stroked it.
Oh,
look out.
Wow, and that sort of showmanship is just deflating right now to a team trying Clark to get back into this game like this.
Yeah, definitely a jam with emphasis. A big apostrophe or exclamation point. How about maybe even a question mark, partner?
Well, you know what the questions are about now. It's their defense, that's for sure.
And West backs in. And it's good off the back of the rim and in.
You know, Frank Vogel is one of the youngest head coaches in the NBA, and in college at Kentucky, he pestered the coaches relentlessly until they gave him a role as a student manager for the Wildcats. And that determination and resolve has served him well as he's worked himself into an outstanding head coach in the NBA.
The Pacers have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Yes, Frank Vogel and I got a chance to talk for a bit. There are a lot of big names to deal with in this one, but perhaps none bigger than LeBron James. He told me planning for LeBron is a headache because he can do so much on the floor, saying there isn't a hole in his game. The only real way to slow him down is to get him working against himself. Physically, there is no answer for LeBron.
Thank you, Doris. And for Vogel, an assistant for 10 years in the NBA, and when a coaching turnover moved him into the interim head coaching position in 2011, Steve, he grabbed the reins and didn't look back.
No, he didn't. The results speak for themselves. The teams responded to him. The organization has shown its faith in Coach Vogel, giving him an extension, and he led that club to a deep playoff run a year ago, 1 game from the finals.
Here's West. West missing again. The Heat have gone 4 of 4 to start, so a nice offensive rhythm to start here. And the basket by Chalmers.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
Yeah, they're making the right play, they're working together, and they're just looking for the best shot they can every possession.
You know, people look at Mario Chalmers and say he might not be your typical point guard. He's not a big-time penetrator or playmaker, but he's a good fit for the Heat with his active defense and spot-up shooting from long range. I think it's a hand-in-glove fit, actually.
Here's Hill after the Heat pick up 2. And there's the call on Udonis Haslem. That's his first foul. A different look for Miami. Battier comes in for Udonis Haslem. And it's Norris Cole in for Mario Chalmers. And George kicks to Stevenson. Pass to Granger. They need this. That's good. And Chalmers, a 3-time All-American, NCAA champion his junior season at Kansas, received the Most Outstanding Player Award for that 2008 tournament.
Hit what was probably the biggest shot in Kansas history, the three-pointer that sent that game against Memphis into overtime that allowed the Jayhawks to go on and win that national championship. How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any agenda.
It's hard to overstate all the points they've scored on assists today. Beautiful to watch.
So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game. Chris Anderson is checked in for Miami. We've got 1:28 left in the first. Granger kicks to Scola. No good. Now the Heat take it the other way. In transition, here comes Miami. Allen leading the charge. They get it back. Kicks it to Cole. Goes back up. Bank shot. No good.
And it is very dangerous to leave him open like that. Lucky break for the defense that he missed it.
Here is Watson, defended by Cole. On the wing, George. He kicks to Watson. Beyond the arc. Chris Anderson pulls it in.
Almost surprised that he had that much room to work with.
Off his foot, and the official saying it was kicked. Chris Copeland's checked in for Paul George. Allen for three. That's good. Allen's got himself on the board with three there.
Well, Allen is the all-time leader in three-pointers made past Reggie Miller a couple of years ago. So obviously you have to worry about him out there. But what makes Allen so good is that he can also put the ball on the floor, get into the paint, and score at that mid-range area as well.
And he really has a fondness for those corners. I mean, you just can't help off of him. Too much of a threat from out there. You've got to stay connected.
Slammed home, and they call the foul. He's headed to the stripe for one more.
Terrible transition defense there.
I think it would have been pointless, Steve. There was no way anybody was beating him to the basket there.
The Pacers shooting their first free throw of the game. Anderson up top. No good off the front iron. Now Granger. Pushing it up. Here's Stevenson. That's good. And after just 1 quarter of play, a double-digit differential on the scoreboard. Heat lead by 11. And we'll be back in just a moment. Well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here, plenty of time for a comeback. And let's get your take, guys, on the scoring breakdown for Miami.
Well, they've definitely had the hot hand from the three-point line so far. Always nice to start out like that.
They also came out of the locker room with their running shoes on. I mean, their transition game has been full throttle.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Well, Dwayne Wade, maybe more so than LeBron and Chris Bosh, has had to make sacrifices in his role when they assembled the Big Three in Miami. Wade said, quote, "If I was a selfish guy, it never would have worked. Myself and LeBron both being alphas. But you can only play this game for so long. And when you leave this game, what memories do you want to have? I want to have memories of success as a team. And it's not easy. It's hard. But the only thing I need to prove to myself is that I can be a part of a winning team. Guys, that's what it's all about."
Well, they've got it right, Doris. When you win, all the accolades take care of themselves. He feeds it to Watson. Indiana moving the ball away. Stevenson kicks it to West. West draws the double. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two.
Well, you got to love the season from David West last year, coming off the ACL tear back in 2011. I think he's completely back as far as that injury is concerned. He was so good last year, particularly in the playoffs.
The Heat making a switch here. Bosh is checked in. And David West, Clark, a locker room leader for the Pacers last season, helped lead them all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and a guy I know that you greatly admire.
Oh, my goodness. Love the way he does his work. I call him Real Deal 21. There's nothing fluffy about what he gets done, and he's so smart and so savvy in how he approaches the game. And really a lion in the locker room for the Pacers. That's why that team was so tough in many ways, particularly defensively.
Three-pointer, Wade. Good, and the assist goes to LeBron. And it's 7 points for Dwayne Wade.
Very well done. He is a confident, dynamic scorer.
Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over.
Well, coming off a title last year, you always wonder if a team will maybe relax a little bit. They usually won't admit to it, but Chris Bosh readily said it at times that his team had a difficult time lighting that fire again.
Shane Battier is checked in for the Heat. Allen comes in for Norris Cole. Hibbert kicks it to West. West draws the double. Battier, and the ball's tied up, so we'll have a jump ball. And to go back to what Bosch said, I think that is true for every team, Clark, that comes off a championship, but they usually don't admit it like Bosch did.
Well, you know what? Once you've won it all, there is a bit of a relief and a little malaise that may settle over you, but I've always respected Bosch's candor. He's a guy who doesn't bite his tongue, and he articulates what he feels, and I think it's impressive that they fought back to the finals once more, because that shows they eventually did recapture that fire.
Pacers trail by 19. Here's Hibbert. Tried to bank it in, but he misses.
Great defense in the paint there, making it tough on the offense.
That's what he brings, a presence. I mean, you saw it on that miss.
Now the pass to Copeland. Inside to Hibbert. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Hibbert's got his second basket.
A good job of spotting his teammate near the basket and zipping the pass right in there.
LeBron drives in, and he takes that one up and powers it through.
You know, guys, I would call that methodical but explosive. You know, he waits for the opportunity and then boom, right to the rack. You know, in order to win your division, you have to be able to win games against the rest of your conference, and that's exactly what Indiana did last season. Tough team in a tough division, and they gave no ground to other teams in the East.
Miami leading by 16. 2 minutes. And fouled as he went up to the dunk. Good aggressive move, and he'll shoot 2. And the Pacers, as you mentioned, Clark, very solid against the other teams in the East as they would cruise to a 31-20 record against the rest of the conference.
And really, that's because this team is built to handle anything that's thrown at them. Kevin, it's a big, strong, kind of old-school team. They'll pound you inside, they rebound, they protect the paint. There aren't a lot of matchups that seem to bother this team.
The Pacers making a switch here. George is checked in. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Kevin, thank you. There was a lot of thought about how the Heat could improve after they lost to the Mavs in the 2011 NBA Finals. Many called for a veteran point guard, but the team felt comfortable with who they had. Coach Aaron Spoelstra said, "We felt we had one of the younger point guard tandems in the league that we can build on and offer us championship minutes right now." They grew into that role and were a big part of their back-to-back titles. Spoelstra says they earned it with their hard work, and he couldn't be happier, guys.
And thank you for that, Doris. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play. And that sends David West to the free throw line. It's going to be on Shane Battier.
He's a bruiser, Kevin. I mean, that's the main thing that jumps out at me, the size and the strength, the intensity that he brings. You can always count on him, especially in the paint. He's going to bring that muscle.
And he gives them a terrific option in the low post every time down the court. Even with multiple defenders around him, he knows how to create a shot for himself.
Hill with it. He's picked up by LeBron. Hibbert with a screen for Hill. Wade brings the double team. Passes it to George. Dishes it to West. Missed inside.
And that'll increase their rebound advantage. They've definitely been winning that battle on the boards.
Well, the main thing is they haven't allowed many second chance opportunities. And that is always going to allow you to maintain your lead.
Paul George with the steal. Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. Pass to Hill. Inside to Hibbert. 6 to shoot. Rebounded by Battier. And here we go. Bosch passes to Allen. Battier. He's guarded by Hill. It's LeBron with the drive. Soft touch off the glass. LeBron's got 14 points for the game.
Took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on it.
And through one half, it hasn't even been close. Miami ahead. They lead by 18. And get ready now for the Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce. The second half will be coming up right after that on 2K Sports.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
And now it's time to break down the first half for you here on this Wednesday edition of 2K at the half. Miami up on top against Indiana. Their offense has been prolific, moving the ball, getting tons of shots, different looks, options everywhere. Around the rim, downtown, mid-range, how do you want it? And LeBron is absolutely dominating. The bucket looks about 5 feet wide for him. He hasn't missed one shot. Can you believe it? Not the same story, though, for the Pacers. The outside shot just not there for them today, but that certainly hasn't stopped them from trying. We might see some adjustments after the break. Their leading scorer, David West, and Roy Hibbert's also been getting it going for them. That'll be it for the halftime report. The second half is coming right up. Hope to see you next time.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen.
What a game for LeBron. He has 14 points, and he's added a steal to his stat line also.
Now, that's obviously not a big number, but he's been doing some valuable defensive work for him.
West dishes to Hill. And Roy Hibbert, the bucket on the assist by Hill. And that's now 6 points for Roy Hibbert.
Well, guys, for the Pacers, it's been a slow and long climb from the Malice at the Palace back in '04. But now, with a terrific young team fresh off a strong showing in the Eastern Conference Finals, we can finally say the Pacers are back, and they're going to be around for a while contending for championships. Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
Yeah, it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Hill with it. He's picked up by LeBron. And George kicks to Granger. Wade brings the double team. That one a little long. And for the Pacers, ever since that unfortunate night in Detroit, the attendance in Indiana has sagged. They've been at the bottom half percentage-wise, Steve, for the last 9 years.
Well, it's time for the fans to come back, Kevin. This is an elite team. They've got really high character, good guys. Ticket prices are about 60% less than the league norm. One of the best arenas in the NBA, and hey, it's Indiana. I mean, this is a basketball state.
Luis Scola, he's checked in for the Pacers. Chris Anderson has checked in for Chris Bosh. Here's Hill. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Back to Scola. 6 on the shot clock. The drive by Granger. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. That's on LeBron James.
Well, Danny Granger played only portions of 5 games last season, guys, and basically was trying to overcome a torn patella tendon in his left knee. Had to be terribly frustrating for him.
And a long road back for Danny Granger.
Yeah, I know the frustration dealing with a lot of knee issues of my own in my career. It's difficult when you have to face that year after year. Hopefully Granger will be able to come back and maintain or regain, I should say, that all-star form that he once showed. He could be a huge addition to this Pacer team.
Oh my God, a team right on the cusp on this. Scola kicks to Hill. The 3. Cut the bucket. Hill's got his first 3 points of the game.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
It's LeBron with the drive. LeBron left side. Back to Anderson. Deflects the pass. He dishes it to Haslam.
Well, really the heart and soul of this Miami team in a lot of ways, Udonis Haslam. Born and raised in Miami. He's played his entire decade-long career with the Heat and just a tough, hard-working guy and a locker room leader.
Some changes for Indiana. Hibbert comes in for David West. And it's Watson in for George Hill. Doubled by Haslam. Watson, the pass to George. Feeds it to Hibbert. Indiana moving it around. Here's Granger. Plenty of room to knock down the shot. Granger's got 6. And back to Haslam. He helped lift the Florida Gators program back to prominence. Took them all the way to the NCAA championship game, playing at center of all positions.
But was really heavy back then at Florida. And he had to lose a lot of weight before he was ready to play in the NBA. Went to Europe to play first. He's been the heart and soul of the Heat organization ever since.
You know, one of the things about the Heat since the Big Three has come together is that they've been able to find the right kinds of veteran players to step in and fill specific roles for this team as they've won a couple of championships now.
And that one's good. Scoa's got his first points of the game.
The offensive execution really well done. They got the ball in tight for the high percentage shot.
James. The dish to Chalmers. From deep three-point range, and the Heat, another three.
Well, he's got that quick trigger, a very quick trigger on his shot, and it doesn't hesitate to pull up as soon as he gets his hands on the ball. He's a very aggressive player.
Well, defensive pressure is always going to be at its weakest in that instant when the pass gets there, so having a good feel for the catch and shoot serves him well.
Wade double team, and it's going to be a 3-second call. Chris Bosh is checked in for Miami. Just over 3.5 minutes through the third quarter of play now. Watson dishes to George. The feed to Watson. Three-pointer. Count that one. And it's easy to have players want to join the Heat when they're competing for an NBA title every season. But, Steve, even then, they find the ones that most fit their offensive and defensive philosophy. And that's when they're going to come up big for them.
Yeah, for sure. This team has done such a good job putting together this roster around LeBron and Wade. You think about Birdman in the playoffs last year. You got Battier coming in here as a stretch four. They've just found the right players and the right mix. And that's one of the big reasons why this team is back-to-back NBA champs.
That's good.
He's not their first option, but not a bad fallback either.
Pacers trail by 17. He passes to Scola. It's hauled in by LeBron.
Boy, they've really dominated on the glass, and of course they've done a lot of good things here tonight, but the rebounds have played a major factor.
Hey, Steve, you know rebounding always one of the key barometers in determining the victor.
With the fadeaway. And it's Miami with another.
A large part of what they've been able to do here is centered around his offense.
Indiana's gone 2 of 2 from long range in the third quarter so far. Lays out. Out of bounds. Pacers ball as Indiana keeps possession. And Miami making a change here. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock.
Should probably use a little clock here.
Yep, make this the very last possession.
Boy, just a brain cramp, guys. I mean, that should have been the simplest of exchanges.
Indiana's gone 3 of 7 tonight from three-point territory. And Mario Chalmers gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him.
Well, he tried to step in and cut him off, but just not quick enough.
And we have the benefit of replay, but I think they got that one right, which is the case most times, even though fans don't think so.
And George kicks to Granger. Pass to West. Back to Granger. Here's the 3. And that's not going to go. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for Miami.
Well, they're getting into the paint with their penetration, and it's really been key for this club.
You know, something else I've noticed is just how many of their baskets have been set up by assists throughout the game.
Cole, the pass to Haslam. Battles through traffic and lays it in. Haslam's got the first field goal of the fourth quarter here for the Heat. Pacers trail by 21. Hill with it. Now guarded by Mario Chalmers. Hill kicks it to West. Outside, George. He feeds it to Granger. And it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way.
A temporary lapse of focus from him on that turnover. It's embarrassing, but on occasion it does happen.
The Pacers making a switch here. Hibbert's checked in. And out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession.
Really poor decision on that pass.
Goes up off the inbound. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2.
You know, when Danny Granger was out with injury last season, he saw that the Pacers team had become really Paul George's and Roy Hibbert's team as they became the new faces. While some would throw a fit about it, Granger said he was proud of them and happy to take a lesser role. He just wants to get back out there.
Here's Cole. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And when Granger is healthy, Steve, he's certainly a great player.
Well, you love his versatility, his ability to play both ends of the floor. A tough defender who can guard multiple positions. Offensively, he can put it on the floor, get to the rim, and he's got three-point range. But really an excellent all-around player.
Hill kicks to George. And the pass to Granger. Kept alive by Indiana.
Boy, from my angle, it looked like it was in the bottom of the net. Looked good from here.
Yeah, I thought so too, Clark.
And out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession. Luis Scola, he's checked in for Indiana. And the Pacers call time here.
The Heat marched their way to the best record in the league last season, 66-16, and the ability to win on the road, a big part of that league best record.
Outside, George. The three-pointer, no good. Miami leading by 20. Lewis attacking. The finger roll finish at the bucket.
Well, as they continue to dominate, you wonder just how much higher this lead might get.
I think it really could get out of hand, and you can credit their defense just as much as their offense for that.
Granger for the 3. Offensive rebound, Pacers. Indiana moving the ball around. And Luis Scola, the bucket, and the assist by Granger. Now a timeout called by Miami. And back to the Heat in their play on the road. 29 wins for them as the visiting side, and that was in another category compared to every other team in the league. Steve, nobody else really even came close.
No, nobody did, and I'll tell you what, when they went on their huge winning streak, it wasn't like they did it all at home. In fact, 13 of those 27 games during their winning streak were on the road, and that's not easy to do.
And Miami going with a whole new group out there. George against LeBron. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
Well, for LeBron James, guys, the stats say it all. He's always a beast. But when you play him at the power forward position, his numbers take on a whole nother level of excellence.
Kept alive. Another shot. Scola, no luck.
He's got a nice touch on that shot normally, but good defense there clogging the lane.
LeBron kicks to Wade. From deep. They get it back. Over George. Wade misses. For Indiana, they've gone just 1 of 6 in the field to start the fourth quarter. A bit of a slowdown for them right now. They get a hand on it. Hill with it. Wade picks him up. Hill, no good. And Clark, you mentioned LeBron playing at the 4 being a tough matchup for teams. Steve, why is that?
Well, we've seen the same thing with Carmelo Anthony, a guy who's playing at the 4, who has great size and strength, but also ball handling ability. It compromises the defense, particularly when you put shooters around him.
Hibbert kicks to Granger. Back to Hibbert. Granger outside. And a miss there on the triple. The Heat have gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall so far here in the fourth. A pretty nice efficiency there. The drive by Allen. No good. Granger with the defensive effort. Indiana's... Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
And once again off the mark by Indiana.
Things have kind of gone south for him here in the quarter.
Now the Pacers moving it up. George has got the ball. Granger misses.
He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter.
Took him no time at all on that one. And that's 13 points for Dwayne Wade.
And tack on a few more points to the lead. Why not? I suppose this is an emphatic showing for this club.
And Steve, they did it in style, a beatdown the entire way.
Hill kicks to George. Passes it to Hibbert. Hill trying to get back on track. And the Pacers can't get it to go.
Looked like he rushed that one, guys. The defense was out of position. He was wide open, just couldn't take advantage.
Gets it to go.
Well, if it wasn't already out of reach, it is now thanks to this spurt.
Just keep on firing, man. No reason to slow down now.
Outside, George. Kicks to Scola. Outside, Hill. Teardrop shot. That drops. Heat have gone 6 of 9 on their field goal attempts since the start of the fourth quarter. LeBron is doubled. Pulls up. High post. Excellent D there from George. The Pacers shooting 39% from the floor. Not their best. Granger dishes to Hill. George makes the lead pass. Hibbert. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
Well, he recognized the advantage size-wise, and he went right at the defender. That's how you do it.
Here's Battier. Cole, the pass to Anderson. From the arc. And that falls.
And the crowd here, of course, not happy about the outcome. But you know what? We saw a team tonight that came in prepared to do battle on the road, and they clearly wanted the win.
You know, they were determined to steal this game, and they showed it, Steve. Played harder and got the job done.
And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. Not much to be critical of with this win, Clark.
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play. They showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan, along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in.
Sunshine in a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. I ain't happy, I'm feeling glad. I got sunshine in a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming.